you ever had a boyfriend?
I have.
Do you ever dump that fool?
All of them. I've dumped every one of them.
You dumped every one of your boyfriends?
Yeah.
So why'd you dump all of them?
They were all way more obsessed with me than I was with them.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah, classic, giving you too much attention.
Yeah, it was gross.
Guys, welcome to Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. One thing you can definitely make sure of is that women are going to probably cheer on the wrong side of history. And recently, Mia Khalifa and many others are kind of cheering on the people that would really like to probably end them and their existence on the planet. So I want to go over this today. I talked this last night. I was on Rakita Law, and this is a story I had pulled up to do a video on, and I talked about this with him. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it and get a little bit more in depth with it. So Mia Khalifa, as many of you know, she likes to do the spicy stuff on the video. She definitely would not fit in with much of Muslim culture, and she's cheering on the Palestinians. Now we all have different opinions on what's going on. Well, how does the expression go? Opinions are like apples. Everybody has one, and they all stink. So I'm not going to get into that portion of it. We've all got our own thoughts on the situation. But I am going to talk about this. Only Fools star Mia Khalifa reportedly fired after encouraging Hamas to turn their cameras and film all their deeds in better resolution so she could see what's going on. The irony of this is that if they found Mia Khalifa, I don't think she would last very long over in many of the areas where Hamas actually is. And again, I'm not talking about Palestinian citizens. I'm talking about Hamas specifically. I don't think she'd last very long. She'd probably be used a lot and then would not make it, and then she would be used again some more. Only Fools star Mia Khalifa was reportedly fired on Saturday after she encouraged Hamas militants to film horizontal acts. There's a joke about horizontal in there somewhere. Todd Shapiro, the CEO of Red Light Holland, slammed the former spicy star in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, for her horrendous tweet and informing her that she had just lost a business deal between the two. You think she would have maybe, with the last name of Todd Shapiro, the CEO, you think she may have done a little homework before maybe just keeping your opinion to yourself, you dingbat. She said, can someone please tell the freedom fighters in Palestine to flip their phones and film horizontal? And she also made this post here. Let me see. Oh, maybe it's been removed. I'll see if I can find it again. Yeah, I think her post has been removed. Anyway, Todd Shapiro replied to her, this is such a horrendous tweet, at Mia Khalifa. Consider yourself fired, effective immediately, simply disgusting, beyond disgusting. Please evolve and become a better human being. The facts are you are condoning lots of bad things. No words can express how bad this is. And this is his, and here's Mia's, Pescadios. I click on her link, and it says this doesn't exist. This post has been deleted. Well, it looks like maybe she learned her lesson a little too late. Well, here's Mia again. And many of you didn't know this. I didn't know this either, but apparently she was going to do a channel with spicy content on Playboy. This is from March 31st of 2022. What's interesting, many of you guys realize this, but after she did her spicy work on the interwebs, she came out and she said she made a bad mistake and her career and her life is ruined, and she feels like she was taken advantage of, and it was, of course, everybody's fault but herself for making these decisions. And then she came out against that kind of work, and she said women shouldn't do it, not unless you have control and not unless you have... Well, I guess that didn't last very long because she opened the Only Fools, where she didn't put explicit content on there, but she did put very saucy content on there. And then as of a year ago, and I didn't even know this, she joined Playboy magazine to promote a new project that will compete with nothing more and nothing less than Only Fools, one of the most requested platforms by the audiences where you can find exclusive content. And Playboy said, we are excited to announce that Mia Khalifa is joining the Playboy Centerfold, which is another platform. Subscribe now so you don't miss any of her exclusive content. Now, being that this is Playboy, I'm quite sure this would be very, very spicy stuff. Yeah, they even have in here, she did not want to be in the spicy movies, even though apparently she made quite a good money. So what happens after this? Well, Playboy just released this yesterday. Playboy just fired Mia Khalifa for her tweets supporting Hamas. They say, dear creator community, we're writing today to let you know of our decision to terminate Playboy's relationship with Mia Khalifa, including deleting Mia's Playboy channel on our creator platform. At Playboy, we encourage free expression and constructive political debate. We have zero tolerance and policy for this kind of speech. We expect Mia to understand that her words and actions have consequences. Uh-oh. Sounds like cancel culture came for her. This is kind of like she almost had to virtue signal, and she almost had to get her likes on Twitter to the detriment of her own financial health. She ruined her career with Playboy. She ruined her career with this other company, and she got fired. And what I don't understand is, look, it is fine to have your thoughts and opinions on the current conflict. I've on Twitter, I follow both accounts that are pro and anti either side. Some accounts debunk the other ones. Some accounts, I watch it all. And it's tough to watch. And my take on this whole thing is it's horrible, and I wish it would stop. But outside of that, this is a conflict that has raged on for probably a millennia, and nothing I say is going to matter or change anything. So all I do is I have my feelings about it. I sit and watch, and I'm not happy over any of it. But the point here is with with Mia and these others, like this particular group, they don't understand that they would not be accepted by Hamas and these communities. They're literally cheering on the people that would hate them and would end them, or at least take away their freedoms. This is from Wikipedia, which, as you guys know, is pretty left-leaning nowadays. They say here that all the LDHD TV people in Palestine face a precarious situation due to a lack of civil rights legislation aimed at tackling the discrimination. They were decriminalized in adoption of the Jordan Penal Code in 1951. Gaza, however, still follows the British Mandate Criminal Code Ordinance number 74 of 1936, which outlaws men being with men, women being with women, and the current punishment is being up to 10 years in prison. So she is cheering on the people that would throw her in jail, as are these other people. Because, if you do spicy content, forget about it, right? They say in the state of Palestine, there's no specific standalone civil rights legislation that protects LDHD TV people from discrimination or harassment, while hundreds of Palestinians are reported to have fled to Israel because of the hostility they face. They've also been subject to house arrest or deportation from Israel by Israeli authorities. So what I find interesting is that, right now we've got this conflict, and the people that they're cheering on literally will imprison you, and so they run across the border to Israel to try to be safe. Now, Israel may deport them or do other things because of where they're coming from, but the whole point is they're going to one side they're cheering on the side that is kind of harmful to their way of life, and then they're against the side where everybody would run to be safe and hopefully get away from this. And if you look, here now, again, this is Breitbart, it is right-leaning, but there is reports that they throw guys off the rooftops yelling, aloha snack bar, as they throw them off the top of the roofs. This is like this dude, these women, they're not making the good choices in life. And because of her previous work history, she's not making a very good choice in life either. This just goes to show you that there's a lot of people today that will jump on a certain side of something with emotion and with feeling and with conviction and firmly entrenched in how they feel about something, even if it's to their own detriment. Because they're here, or they're somewhere safe, or they're somewhere where they can yell, oh, you Russians, or you whoever, Ukrainians, you whoever, as they sit quietly and safely behind a computer monitor. This is one of the reasons why I'm very cautious in a lot of things to take sides, because there's going to be propaganda. There's going to be news stories that you can't trust. There's going to be a lot of misinformation. And it's our responsibility to kind of try to filter through that. And at the end of the day, we may have different opinions on it. That's fine. But when you don't sift through any of it and you just listen to what either the mainstream yells or what left yells, right yells, whatever, and then you're like, oh, I'm all in and I'm really emotional about this and I'm very, very upset, understand they're manipulating you. They're going to probably try to manipulate you to the point where you're like, yes, we must fire up and head down there and put boots on ground. And okay, well, that means a draft and probably you holding a lead squirt gun and being in a place you don't want to be. I do not understand why so many events happen in this world and people get emotionally involved. I understand you can be very upset about what's going on from both sides. You know, you can be very upset about what's going on. You can even have, like, I feel this way about it. But when you get all invested emotionally and not logically, that's where things start to get in trouble. And by gosh, if you don't know history, look at how many times the U.S. government or other governments have tried to get people emotional about something so that when they say, hey, we're going to put boots on ground and we're going to step in and stop this, people are like, yeah, only to find out 10 or 15 or 20 years later, oh, our government completely lied about what was going on just to kind of get us fired up and head us in. Again, all you have to do is look at most of the conflicts the United States has been in, and maybe other countries as well, to realize, oh man, we were kind of manipulated. What makes you think it's different this time? So I understand what's going on. I've watched both sides of it, and I can tell you now, there's a whole lot of innocent people on both sides that are going to get hurt. And I understand why both sides are upset. I know that sounds crazy, because then I'll have somebody say, oh, you're an apologist for this, or you don't know what's really going on, dude. You need to be invested and get upset about this because of this thing. No, I've seen it all. But you also have to understand that a lot of people that were saying, we need to not be in Ukraine, we need to stop the funding, are all now of a sudden like screaming like, turn the other side into glass. Like, stop. Take a step back. Maybe take a lesson from some of the people on the internet that you might be talking yourself right into supporting a side that hates you or that would want to end you or that doesn't like you very much. Don't get too caught up, because that's what Mia did. She lost her jobs. She lost a lot of income probably. And some of these other people that are cheering would probably be taking a swan dive off a 7-story building. Just keep that in mind. Don't overreact like some of these people do, because I'm telling you, man, at the end of the day, probably none of the people involved like you. That's just my take on it. Guys, if you'd like to support my work, join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. I had a great stream last night with Rakita Law. He was like, oh, we'll do 2-3 hours. We went from like midnight my time to like 5:15, 5:30. Rakita and I have great conversations. A lot of people said, oh, it's kind of like you guys don't really get crazy or anything. No, we're like two guys chatting at the local pub over just the world. And I really enjoy that. I really like Nick over there. We had a great conversation. So jump over and check that out. That's over the full streams over on Rumble on his channel, Rakita Law. Or join me over on Locals. I put up links for this stuff. I do content over there all the time. We got a great community of people over there as well. So I hope you can join us, and we'll see you in the next one.